Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. A new week ahead of us. I'm excited.
Yeah, as always, love a Monday.
Yes. Oh, amazing. So we're going to dive straight in, guys. If you have listened to the previous episode, I hopped on at the weekend because there was something that I wanted to share. Um, and that was a moment I experienced on the motorway where I just left you, hadn't I, Kat? And we'd had some incredible conversations. And I made a decision in that car on the way home. And that decision was that I deserve to stand where I stand today. And with that decision, I felt in my whole body this emotion just rise up inside of me. Tears came out, and I just felt my shoulders relax. And I was like, oh, that feels good. Like, my worth has been something that I have struggled with and that has come up a lot. It's been a lot hidden under my unconscious. And I think this is a big thing for us all, isn't it? To feel enough, to feel like we deserve to be where we are today, to know that we just didn't just get lucky. Like, we didn't get here by chance. We created the life that we have right now. So this is the conversation, isn't it? We want to just delve into this a bit further
Yeah,
today.
yeah. And I'm excited because it really feels like, if I reflect personally, like after you shared that with me, well, I shared it with us, sorry, in the podcast, which I listened to, and then we've had further conversations since, and we actually had our weekly practice this morning. I'm like, oh, am I scratching the surface about my worth as well? Because I don't know. It's just, yeah, I'm interested to just kick off with this and start this conversation because I thought I was worthy, but some stuff's coming up for me. It really is.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that this is quite exciting share because it just kind of proves that self-development, personal growth, it's a
Yeah.
lifelong
It
journey.
is. It
Like,
is.
and no matter where you are, we can easily look at others, can't we? Think, oh, she's got it all figured out. She's got it made. She
Yeah.
knows her worth. She knows this. But we always like kind of continue to grow, don't we? And hit these moments in life of just there's always room for growth, isn't there? I
There
suppose is
is.
what I'm
And I
saying.
think when we really flip that, like, how exciting is that? There's always a next level. And I think this is the whole thing of what we're doing here. We're lifting the lid off life. Like, there is no, let's just remove it because we can always grow, we can always learn, and we can always get to our next level, whatever level we're at. I mean, just see where we can go. Like, the
Yeah.
world is open, right? Possibilities are endless. When we open ourselves up in this way, opportunities, they're there. Um, so yeah, but worth. Let's rein it back
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. So should we share the conversation we had in the open
Yes.
water swim?
Because I kind of came away, didn't I? And I said to you, we got into the car and I was like, there was a niggle of us being in conversations where I was just a little like, felt a little inferior. And I want to say this in terms of no one else made me feel that way. This was an inside job. And I kind of smile at like when I spot these things because sometimes we can project that and think it's the situation. Whereas actually, if we go, this is taking full responsibility, by the way, for your life, which is so exciting. It can sound a lot, but life is one big reflection. And if we do or react in a way, look back and go, wow, where did that come from? What was that really about? Because when I did that, I was like, got to this decision, realized that I still wasn't feeling worthy. Like, why can I not stand in that conversation and feel confident and proud in that moment and be able to speak with ease about what we do? It's coming. It's coming.
It is, it really is. And I think this is the growth, isn't it? The continual growth path that we're on. Like you get to the level and you feel the worthiness and you feel, the confidence in where you stand at that point. But then when we grow again, and I think
Yeah.
this is where we're at the moment in terms of like this next level, we're
Yeah.
moving again, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Individually, together, as a movement, as a as a membership, we're moving, and personally, we're going to this next level. And I think that's probably, excuse me, that's possibly what's rocking the boat for me in terms of the worthiness. Like, I'm sure I think in fact it was in our journaling session at the end of the month last week. I'm sure some like stuff came up for me about enough,
Yeah.
the enoughness, feeling enough. Is what I do enough? Is what I know enough?
Yeah.
Am I good enough? Like, I'm like, what's going on? But I'm
Oh, like,
excited. And this is a choice, isn't it?
yeah.
Like, I can just keep peeling back these layers and going on this journey and kind of discover because this is coming to the surface for a reason. I
Yeah.
feel that's my belief. It's a message. It's a signal. It's a signal for me to go, okay, there's some work here to be done. There's some more
Yeah.
inner work. And I can look at it and I should shrug my shoulders and go, oh, for God's sake, I thought I was done. But we know this. We know
I've
this
been
isn't
there. I've been there.
we know this isn't the case. I'm looking at it and go, okay, it's time to grow. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's time to
Yes.
expansion, evolve, and a new version of me.
Yeah.
And that's not like I'm leaving parts of me behind. It's not like I'm recreating myself. I'm just growing and getting
Yeah.
better and better. And so, yeah, so worth.
I actually had a really interesting conversation with my husband last night, and he said something to me that was like, it was really lovely, actually. He was like, I can see, like, you've not changed, but you've just grown.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was just like, yeah, like, it's not about changing who we are. It's about getting even better at who we are. It's a,
I'm becoming more of who we are
yeah,
authentically, not the versions of us that we think we should be because of other people.
yes,
The comparisons and we should be like this.
yeah,
Becoming more of who we are.
yes. And literally, I can now hold a conversation in such a grounded, confident way that I didn't do that before. And I think this is what's coming up for me and kind of really just giving me all the feels is I'm like, I can just be me.
Yeah.
And like, she is more than enough.
Yes.
And I don't need to. This was, I feel like this is like just landing as I'm talking right now. But basically, the conversation me and my husband were having about angel cards, because I'm one way and he's the other. And I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I didn't feel the need to convince him to get on board with angel cards. And this was such growth for me. I didn't feel the need to defend the reason that I choose to use angel cards. I just spoke my truth of what I believe. And I just felt so solid in that. It was such a wonderful conversation because there was no forcing who I am on him or him forcing who he is on me. And for us as a couple, wow, that is growth. Like, that is massive. Because I think it was only like, just before Christmas when that was one of my key focuses was communication at home, because we were just not communicating as well as what we could. And I just, yeah. And then obviously when he said that I've not changed, like, you're still my Charlotte, but I can just see how much you've grown and how, yeah, just was just saying that how amazing that was. And I was like, oh,
And that's an incredible place to get to, because I know if I reflect back, historically, I would have, in conversations about whatever, I'd have my view or my perspective, but I'd be kind of changing it to meet the view or the perspective or the opinion of somebody I'm perhaps having a conversation with, just to whether it's to make them
yeah,
feel better, whether it was to fit in,
yes,
whether it was to
yeah,
avoid any confrontation, but to be in a space where you can just have a conversation and have your blueprint, your map of the world, your perspective about whatever the thing is you're having the conversation on,
yeah,
and just have like the confidence and the not any need to change that, and just be
No.
happy in that, and no, like you say, no need to force an opinion or a perspective on somebody else, and no need to take on theirs. Just
Yeah.
be who you are and know
Saves
who you are.
a lot of energy.
Energy. Yeah, know who you are, love who you
Yeah.
are, and be happy with that. Like, that's authentic alignment, isn't it?
I
We've
feel
gone
like I
off on a
can
tangent,
I know,
sorry.
but I feel like I can feel it. And this is, as I hope you can kind of pick up, guys, as you're listening to this. This is so real for both of us right now. And I think we've just got to this really grounded place where we know who we are individually and together. We know what we do. And we feel deserving to be here. And
Yeah.
like, we've both made this decision recently. And we were saying, weren't we, like, to a lot of what we've been saying to each other is go all in, go all in, we're going all in, we're going all in. And then you actually said, didn't you, what does all in mean?
Yeah, this was the conversation we had in the lake, because we were swimming 300 meters around the lake last week,
Yes. Yeah.
at Water's Edge, an incredible venue where we have our retreat in September.
Yes.
It was what does, okay, so we're on, like, are we all in? We're not sure if we're all in. Okay, what does all in look like?
Yeah. And we
And
came
we
to this, didn't we? That all in means being the fullest expression of ourselves
Yeah,
with confidence
yeah,
and with conviction. And the thing is, we have always known what we do, who we are, but portraying that, that's the worth thing, isn't it? That's the going all
that's,
in.
yeah, and that's the journey. Because if you think back tonight, I look at my girls, they're 6 and 8. Are they a full expression of themselves? Are they saying what they want to say in the way they want to say it, however they want to say it, not holding back? Are they going all in on life? Yeah, like, absolutely, hands down. And it fills me with a bit of, like, dread sounds terrible. That sounds really heavy, but just the years that they've got to come, I don't want them to lose that. I
No.
don't want them to lose that. I don't want them to feel they've got to be less, they've got to be quiet to make others feel better. They've got to be lesser versions of themselves. They've got to dim their lights.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what the journey I've been on. And this might come out messy, but I'm just going to go for it.
Go for it.
Like, we chat a lot about what is it we want, like, what is it we want to say? What is it we want to do? And we want to show up with confidence, with conviction in our words, to share with the women of the world all that is possible for them, when they do the inner work, when they become their own best friend, when they empower themselves, become their own coach. And we just want to shout it from the rooftops of what's possible, don't we? And what's been holding me back is the confidence in doing that, and the things that this journey that I've been on over the past. Well, I started in self-development like 15 years ago, and
Yeah.
I felt like a weird one. Like, I felt like some strange odd one out, some part of some secret club. Like, I understood the capabilities of my mind and how I could choose to think and feel differently, and I started working on that and putting that into practice. I was like, I don't know, I just felt quite ostracized back then. And then over the years, I've just been like, oh, how can I explain this? Like shouting really loud, but no one's hearing me. But that's because I've kept myself. I told you this was going to be messy.
You've not voiced.
No, I've not voiced.
Yeah.
It's there. It's
It's
this burning
internal.
desire inside of me to go, guys, anything is possible when you believe it is. Like, believing in yourself and doing this work is the best work you will ever do. And I feel so passionate about it. And I'm like, why on earth can't I scream it from the rooftops? And it is like, well, who's she to say that? And it is all down to the worth and the enoughness. So I'm just declaring here publicly, I've clearly got I've got some work to do, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be that inspiration. I want to be the leader. I want to show you that there is another way. You can get out of the rat race. You can create a life for yourself. Like we say, don't we, Charlotte? We genuinely not wait to get up in the morning.
I
I
know.
jump out of
Yeah.
bed with energy and excitement and enthusiasm and thirst and zest and everything for life, because I don't know if this is my last day, and I want to
Yeah.
make the most of it. And I don't just want to tell my kids what's possible. oh, be yourself, you know, be yourself, do what's right for you, follow your heart. I want to show them.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is kind
No, I
of,
love that.
this is very like,
No, but this is it.
I want to
And
show
this is,
them.
yeah, this is obviously such a joint why of ours, isn't it? That we
Yeah.
have, that we don't want our girls to get to our age and have to do this work of undoing. Like, we want to save them a bit of time and actually
Yeah.
get them before that. And we want to do that by showing them, because we can tell them as much as we want. But until we show them, it's just
No.
words. If we're
And
not
that's,
being ourselves, yet we're telling them to be themselves, it's literally just words. And probably my only regret, and I'm going to put this as a regret, is that I hadn't done this work sooner, because I even see the difference in April and Autumn, and they're 18 months apart. Autumn had me before this work, full on. And I think there is a difference. And I'm not beating myself up about that, because I think she is actually a little bit more like me anyway. She's a bit more on the sensitive side and takes things to heart. But she is a little me that cares about what other people think, that seeks a lot of external approval. April just is the fullest expression of herself. Like, she is a wild card, or I just love it. And you can see that Autumn feeds off that as well. And this could be personality thing, but do I believe that if I had have done this work sooner and I'd had that from her, you know, early, I'd never think this is too late, by the way. And I don't think it's too late that I've done it. But I do think there would have been a difference, because historically, when I look back, I would go to like a play thing and I'd be holding her back
okay.
to fit in. I'd be the whole sharing thing, for example. I'd be making sure that she gave that away. Like, but to quite an extreme level, I would say, of not having my own voice yet to voice that to another mum. Does this make sense?
It
Like,
absolutely does. It absolutely does. And I really relate. I
yeah.
really relate. Like, and any mums listening that have been to the mum groups, I'm sure you can relate to. Like, so you're a different kind of mum now, which is
Yeah.
something to wildly celebrate,
But I'm
because it's
also
never
still,
too late.
yeah, I'm also still working. And sometimes I won't lie, I find it overwhelming, because I'm only just doing this work myself and I see ways that I can improve. And rather than get overwhelmed and like be like, oh my goodness, like we were saying before, like this is just too much, I take it one step at a time. And I said this to Dale, like I've completely let guilt go in terms of motherhood. And that is big for me. Like, I've not got time to feel guilty about the mum that I am. I'm working on myself to be a better mum. And I know that if I spend time in guilt, that's taking time away from me being present. And what I can do is make a decision in a moment, in an instant, and go, right, drop that, Charlotte, go and do what you want to do. Like, if you've just been impatient for a sec, take a deep breath and go and just put it right. Say sorry,
So don't
vocalize that.
berate yourself.
No, go
No,
and
make a better
vocalize that.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go and say to the girl, oh, mummy was really impatient then. Like, I'm really sorry. Let's, just start again. Come on. Sometimes it takes a bit, and it takes us saying that a few times. And I'm like, but that's life. Like, and this is growth. Like, and I just, yeah, I may have gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah,
That's
I don't know where I've
incredible.
gone off
That's
on a bit of
incredible.
it.
No, I love it. And there was something you said I picked up on earlier about, in terms of like, if we're telling our girls to be themselves, but we're not being ourselves, so that's just a bit icky, isn't it? And that's not to be unkind to ourselves. If we, if we
No.
relate to this and we think, okay, I'm telling my kid to be themselves, but I'm not truly being myself, like that's okay, because the awareness of that is the starting point,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And that is the best motivation to have.
Yeah, it
Literally,
really is.
to go, okay, this is why I'm doing
Yeah,
this. Come on.
yeah. And what do we want our kids to do? We don't want our kids to grow up as people pleasers and putting themselves at the bottom of the list and looking
No.
after everybody else first and not loving themselves unconditionally and berating themselves and talking bad to themselves. Like, but we've got to do this stuff for us first. And I think that's really important that you picked up on that. Like, to not overwhelm yourself and go, shit, I haven't done this work for me. I haven't done this work for my kids. Like,
Yeah.
that's like not a fun place to be in. But it's just knowing that you can start with the small steps and do it for yourself first.
Yeah.
Because whether you then consciously make changes in the, with the family, with the kids or not, there will be benefits for
Yeah.
everybody when you start to do the inner work for yourself. That's one of the biggest learnings we've had, isn't it? You
Yeah.
work on yourself and everybody benefits. That's why it's not selfish. It's absolutely selfless to do.
100%.
It really is.
And obviously the absolute quote that I live everything by is be the change that you want to see in the world. And I mean that in terms of like the wider world, but also I've used that in terms of my own worlds. Like you say, show them, be the change, be how you want them to be how, even in terms of the alcohol thing, like that was a problem in our family, like, a year ago. It was something that just didn't feel right to me. It was too much. I stood up and I was like, I'm going to be the change here. And as a result, we have gotten ourselves to a much better place. And it's been a knock-on effect. And I think it is like we are so conditioned to put ourselves to the bottom of the pile. And I genuinely believe that was for a reason, because I think women are powerful. And I think that has been something in society that, I don't know, some men at the top, they know how powerful women are. And when you look at how society is made up, I'm going quite deep here. This is my thoughts.
Yeah.
But they've dulled us down.
Oh, we're coming. Oh, we're coming. We're turning those lights back on, guys. We're coming.
We're shining bright, like literally, because when we see that we're enough as we are, we don't need to change. This is not about being somebody new. This is about getting even better at being exactly who we are. Yes. When we do that, everybody around us benefits, like you say. Like the world will start to shift. The more women that we get on this journey, this is our mission, the more the world will benefit. Like, women are needed in this world. And at the moment, we're stuck at the bottom of our to-do list. And we're like, no, not anymore. Get yourself to the top of the to-do list. Yeah. Put yourself first. Get out of the rat race. Figure out what you want, why you want it. Know that you can and go get it, because everybody will benefit from that 100%. Yeah. And it's not about anymore waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to give us permission. But if you need permission, I'm here to give it to you.
And I'll tell you what,
say, you deserve it.
If that doesn't make you want to get out your chair, because I'm off, I'm off to take action. Like, if that doesn't make you, like, I don't know what is. Because again, something you mentioned earlier when we were saying about, like, when we say to our girls, if we don't do it, it's just words to them. Yeah. This is it for ourselves. We might know it. We might be reading some lovely quotes. We might know the words, but until we do it, and that's going back to be the change. But you beautifully add on the end to that sentence, Charlotte, be the change that you need. Because I know when I was sat in frustration, I wanted things to change and I was waiting for others to do it externally. Nothing was happening. So I stayed in that frustration. So I had to be the change that I needed for me and those around me. And that's when things change and that's when things move.
Yes.
So this podcast is not just about worth. It's about shaking off your mum guilt, taking action. What else have we talked about? Sobriety. I don't know. This is a speed round.
This is a speed round of.
But what I would really, really love to know is, when you've listened to this episode, what is your biggest takeaway from it? Because we've covered a lot here.
We have covered a lot. Yeah.
But just share with us, like, what aha moment, what landed for you, what have you enjoyed? We'd love to hear it.
Just come and join this conversation with us. Like, we love chatting to you guys. We cannot express that enough, because even so every Monday in the membership, we get together at 6:15 a.m. It's half an hour for you on a Monday morning to work through our self-empowerment process. And the conversations that we have in that space are everything. joining something like this, being a part of something like this, me and you speaking like this on a podcast takes a level of courage and vulnerability, but you can do it. And we are here as your safe space to do that, because when we break down that barrier, when we realize that we as women can come together and be one hell of a lot more powerful by having conversations like this, everything changes. So come and join the conversation with us. Head into our DMs. There's also bits, I think, on Spotify where you can get involved and send us things. But come and let us know what your takeaways were. We would love to know, and we'd love to chat to you. And we're here for you. And we believe in you.
Always empowering you to empower yourselves, sending all our love. And we'll speak again soon.
Yes, absolutely. Speak soon, guys. Have a
Take
wonderful
care.
one. Bye.
Bye.